How's everybody today? Pete here at Spawn Fly Fish, ready for another fun fly tying tutorial. Got out a couple times this week to local Stillwater. Fish are biting. They are hungry and ready for your flies. So grab your vise, grab your tools. Let's have some fun. In the vise today, we do have the Ahrex FW531. We're going big. We want these fish to see what they're looking to eat. And so we're going size 10. By all means, that is not what you have to tie it in. I tie these down to size 16s for my own personal use. 14s get a lot of play, 12s get a lot of play, but of course on camera it's just a little easier, I think, to watch a slightly bigger version. So this size 10 is where I'm gonna do. So I love size 10 flies. When we're fishing for sea run cutthroat specifically, we don't have a lot of, oh, I need a size 18 type dry fly. It's just not a big thing for us. So we tend to tie flies that are slightly bigger than, I guess, normal. But by all means, this is easy enough to slink down. So we're going to tie a Rocktober Caddis today, but we're going to jazz it up a little bit. Get that vibe of almost a royal sort of body, but again, incorporating a little peacock in more of a Bloody Mary style. So let's get into it and you'll see what I'm talking about. First thing I want to tie in, I am going to use peacock as a rib and then this extra fine gold wire as a counter rib, just to hold everything in place. This fly definitely will support the minimal extra weight that this wire is going to incorporate. And if you've tied the Rocktober, you know this thing will float for days. So no issue here as far as worried about excess weight. And we talked about using that peacock for our rib, and this is just a peacock Herl off of an eyed stick. I'm going to tie this in so that the concave is against the hook shank and the convex is facing away from the hook shank. And sometimes it plays nice, sometimes not so much. Take your time, be patient, make sure you get that in the right way. It's not the end of the world if it doesn't play right with you, but it's always nice when they do cooperate. So there we go. We have both our rib and counter rib tied in already. So now let's get to the body. I'm going red foam here. And this goes back to my favorite body color when I'm tying flies like grasshoppers, namely the Amy's ant. The red body, of course, the Amy's ant being chenille, just seemed to get it done more than any other color for me. So going back to what works and also going to have a little bit of fun as we tie this fly. So let's get all that goodness, everything's tied in. And at this point, I'll give myself a little mark here. I don't want to go so far forward that I'm going to have difficulty getting in the legs and the hackle and all that good stuff. So if there's a word of caution here, it is don't go too far forward. Cut it back a little shorter than what you normally might, especially for a caddis. So here we go. I'm going to turn ever so slightly just so I can see what I'm doing. And we're going to start wrapping this foam, giving a little tension as we go, and then slightly overlapping wraps here. Not a ton of overlap, but as you can see with that slight overlap, we do get some really cool segmentation already happening on its own. I want to bring that thread back. Again, I don't want to cheat myself out of the space that I'm going to need to finish all this. So right about there, I guess is where I'd call it. So let's just not even tempt too much here and just kind of get this right where we want it. So take one wrap over, pull it, give it some tension, get another wrap over, pull it, give it some tension. Do that a few times, and now you'll be able to cut that out very cleanly. And again, we're not going to force that forward. Give yourself a little more space than what you think you might need. You already see this is going to give us that little ramp effect when we tie in the wing, and that's a good thing. So I am going to mash that little tag end down just a little bit. And there we go. So now let's get into our peacock, our little Herl here. So I'm going to wrap toward myself to begin versus toward you. So when I normally wrap a hackle or a rib, it's going to go over toward you. But again, we're going to wrap a rib and then counter wrap a rib. So you see I'm going very nicely, even spaced as possible, just enough to highlight. We don't want to cover this thing in Peacock. So of course, when you tie a royal sort of style, it's going to have a bunch of Peacock in the back end and then a bunch of Peacock in the front end. That is not what we're going for. We're just going for some exaggerated segmentation. And I can tell you from experience that fish respond to Peacock. They love it. It's got this beautiful iridescence both on land and in the water, but in the water it really shines, just beautiful, and fish know that and they can't get enough. So there already, that's a cool looking body to me. Hopefully it's a cool looking body to you. I can tell you the fish approve. So now let's get this small wire going here, and if you don't have ultra fine, extra small would be great, anything like that. And I'm just going to give it a little wiggle as I work it through. I don't want to trap all those beautiful fibers coming off the Peacock, but I also don't want that Peacock to come undone when those little fish teeth hit it. So there's our little ounce of prevention, if you will. Just go ahead, get that wire in, nothing crazy, but boy does it make it a much, much stronger fly. Cut out that tag end of wire now, and our abdomen is complete. So hopefully you're still with me, and you can see this is going to be a pretty cool look by the time we're done. Again, cover up all that goodness. Don't want to catch too much on that little trimmed wire there or anything like that. So now it's time for our wing, and I do have a bit of stacked bleached elk hair in my stacker here. Get that out. And I do tend to go a little heavy on the elk hair here, but if you're one of those that likes a little less, by all means, this is where you make it your style, your fly. So I'm going to go out with that wing going to the end of the hook there so that it has that more natural look of what our regular caddis wing might look like. And then I'm going to just start wrapping this all back. So I'm adding tension here with almost every wrap, creating a very distinct neck and separation between the wing and the head. Of course, this is a little bit exaggerated as compared to a regular elk hair caddis, again, because I'm tying this in the Rocktober style. So I do want to give myself plenty of room, again, for legs and for hackle. So at this point, I can come forward. I'm going to, before I really tie that head down, I'm going to pull the whole thing back, and I'm going to get a little bump here. And this bump is going to keep my head up. And that's pretty important as far as any caddis or hopper, anything like that. If there's one fault that people tend to get into, it's crowding that eye. And then you tie this beautiful fly, go to tie it on, and you just simply run out of hook eye. That's no good. We want plenty of space in that eye so that it's easily tied on. We don't need to grumble too much on the side of the river or when we're fishing on the lake. Grumbling should be left for when we miss a fish, not because our fly isn't behaving correctly. So let's now come over. Oh, that's a little too greedy. Just want to get this over so that I can maximize the space of that neck area. And again, don't want to crowd that hook eye, so we just give it a little lift as we pull down with our thread. Everything's going to play nicely for us at that point. And a couple more solidifying wraps there. Not too shabby. So don't be daunted by some of this hair. If it bugs you, you can pre-trim just a touch of it. It's not going to make that big of a difference. Let's get into some hackle, shall we? So here I've got a beautiful Rooster saddle feather, and this off of my favorite Hebert Minor saddle that I'm working on here. So I'm just going to get that tied in again. Got that clean tie-in little area. Those little teeth, looks like a mini comb or toothbrush. And that's going to give our thread something to grab onto so that once we've got this tied in, our feather can't slip. We definitely don't want to go through all this effort and then have that feather slip out on us. Once it's in, kind of tuck that away. I'm going to trim out the tag end here. I know you guys probably can't see that, it's on my side, but there we go. And then I've got a couple legs. So this is just some perfect round rubber, some Hedron in red, and this is the fun part, at least for me, it's fun. You can, of course, do the doubled over version and all that, but I'm going to tie mine in first on my side, and then I'll show you on your side. And I just want this to ride about even with the hook eye, but I'm tying this all the way back to the end of the abdomen, and then I'm going to tie it forward so that it comes right behind the head there. So this is just a little bit goofy, a little different than what you're used to tying in for legs, but very effective, and everything is based off what the fish like, at least as far as what goes into my fly box. And I can assure you they like the rubber legs on the Rocktober. So let me turn that slightly, make sure I'm not cheating you guys. There we go. I'm going to work it down. So again, roughly even with the level of the hook eye, and then get it snugged all the way back and work it forward until it's right even with the head of our fly. There we go. A little adjust there, a little adjust on my side. Voila. Now let's get this hackle tied in. Do you see that little hair? We can't have that. Out it goes. So now let's bring this again. I've said it before, my favorite saddle to work with is this Hebert Minor whiting saddle. Just beautiful. Lots of range of size, and the color, I mean, as far as a variant goes, it is true variant. It has everything. So not going to trim anything off. Going to wrap as much as we can of that beautiful hackle in there. Is it necessary? Boy, I think it performs really well. I think it helps float that fly. Gives it that skittery sort of nervous look. And I'm a huge fan of a dry fly that looks nervous. The fish seem to respond to it a little bit better, meaning they don't shy away from it. If that fly is nervous, to them it's just an easier meal. Let me slip one more wrap there. And now I can cut that tag end, and I'll be able to tie another fly for sure with that. Try not to cut too much of that elk hair. And there we go. Looking pretty hot so far. Just make sure any loose hair coming down from that wing, pay attention to it. You can always just sort of lift and prop. And try not to mash. This is the tough part. If there is a tough part, that underside of the hackle there. I think we're going to be just fine. So let's go ahead and whip finish this guy, and then we'll get to trimming all the rest of it. And try to keep that neat, tidy. Don't want a bunch of goofiness going on. Just going to get a nice solid whip finish in there. Find your thread, trim it out. At this point now, we can go ahead and shape our caddis head. And remember, these have a very distinct head. And so if you want to come in at an angle like this, that's great. Just be mindful of that hackle. We don't want to eliminate the hackle. And then come in for a squared off cut. I'll tilt this here in a second, and you'll be able to see the profile that the fish are going to see. I've got just a couple little hairs that I don't want to risk cutting with the scissor right away, because again, I don't want to interfere with that hackle. So there we have that distinct shape of the caddis head. We have a very clear separation between neck, our body and head, with that exaggerated neck. I'm going to come in and cut these rear legs maybe just to the end of the wing, you know, Some people like a longer leg. That's about all you need right there. And then for these front legs, again, just a little bit shorter than our rear legs, like so. And they act more as a support system. Keep that fly exactly even on the surface, but that hackle underneath is going to make it bounce, twitchy, and again, that little nervous look. I'm a huge fan of the nervous look. So there we go. Look at that underbody. If you're a fish and you're looking up at that, no way you say no thanks. You're coming in hot for that fly. At this point, just going to sneak in some head cement. And for that, I'm using the Loon Hardhead Clear. And at this point, as you're adding your head cement, this gives you a great chance to see those hackle fibers underneath. And go ahead and be picky at that point. If you need to trim some of them out, by all means, take the time, do so. And if not, well, this sucker is ready to go in the box and ready to go catch fish. There you have it. We'll call this a mashup of the Rocktober meets Bloody Mary for, again, a slight royal effect without tying a true royal body. And there you have it. Can't wait to fish this thing. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really enjoy spending time with you here on camera. I'm picturing you guys at home tying and having a cup of coffee or whatever it might be. But always appreciate you spending time with me too. So if you guys would do me a favor, hit that like button, hit subscribe. We will see you all on the water.